Pull the fuck up. That's Nate Diaz's fiery retort to Jake Paul's ambitious MMA call-out. But here's the shocking part. This isn't just another social media spat. It's a potential collision of combat sports worlds that could redefine their rivalry and shake up the MMA landscape in ways nobody saw coming. Now, let's rewind a bit. Just over a week ago, Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation-turned-boxing provocateur, threw down the gauntlet with an audacious call-out aimed squarely at former UFC superstar Nate Diaz. This wasn't a casual challenge. Paul made it clear, this fight needs to happen. Not just for them, but for the entire sport of MMA, and fans everywhere held their breath, waiting for a response. Then, like a thunderbolt, Diaz fired back on X, tagging Paul with just 4 explosive words. But why is this so significant? Let's dig into the backstory. In 2023, these two titans clashed in the boxing ring at the American Airlines Center. It was Diaz's debut in professional boxing, facing the more experienced Paul. The fight went a grueling 10 rounds, with Paul emerging victorious by unanimous decision. This outcome set the stage for an ongoing saga, a saga that could now leap from the squared circle to the octagon. You might be asking, why does their boxing match matter here? It's simple. Their shared history adds a layer of intensity, transforming this MMA call-out into more than just talk. It's personal. It's unfinished business, and both men have something to prove in a new arena. Fast forward to today, and we find Diaz diving back into MMA waters after a near 4-year hiatus. His most recent fight in May 2026 saw him face off against Mike Perry at MVP MMA, Rousey versus Carano. It was a comeback shrouded in anticipation, but ended in a brutal second-round TKO loss for Diaz. Meanwhile, Jake Paul, despite signing a multi-year, multi-fight contract with the Professional Fighters League in 2023, has yet to make his MMA debut. The contrast is stark. Diaz has tasted the MMA canvas once more, while Paul stands at the threshold, yet to step inside the cage. This is where the stakes skyrocket. Paul's call-out isn't just about settling a score. It's about making a mark in MMA that he hasn't yet achieved. For Diaz, the allure of an MMA fight with Paul represents vindication and a chance to reclaim his fighting narrative. The intrigue is palpable. Will they meet again, this time under the unforgiving lights of the octagon? What makes this even more compelling is the ripple effect on the wider combat sports spectrum. A bout between Diaz and Paul could draw unprecedented eyes to MMA, blending fan bases and pushing promotional boundaries. Imagine the promotional build-up, the press conferences, the mind games. The world would watch and hold its breath. But let's pause for a second and consider what's actually confirmed. Nate Diaz's post on X is a clear public acknowledgement of Paul's challenge. It's not a contract, a venue announcement, or a signed agreement. It's the opening volley in what could become one of the most talked-about rivalries in recent MMA history. Meanwhile, Jake Paul hasn't fought since his own boxing setback, a 6th-round knockout loss to Anthony Joshua in December 2025. Yet his record, boasting 12 wins and 2 losses, speaks to his resilience and hunger for redemption. So, what does all of this mean? For now, we're left with a tantalizing promise of what could be. 2 fighters with unfinished business in boxing, now potentially squaring off in the cage. The implications are enormous. This isn't just about 2 fighters colliding. It's about legacy. It's about proving doubters wrong. It's about defining an era in a sport constantly searching for its next big story. And now, the ball is in your court. What do you think? Is this just another case of social media bluster, or are we on the verge of witnessing a game-changing moment in MMA? Will Nate Diaz and Jake Paul step into the cage to settle the score once and for all? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. This is one showdown we can't afford to miss.